Hey beauties, my name is Rain and I am your host for Unfiltered Beauty. Today I have Mark Anthony, also known as the protector of the dolls, and he is also a real estate agent here in the San Antonio area. So for today to kick off, I'm going to go ahead and have Mark introduce himself.
Applause, applause. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Thank you, Rain, for having me on today. I know we've been talking about this for a while now. Again, my name is Mark Anthony. I'm a Texas realtor here in San Antonio, new to the game, but not new to San Antonio. A native to the area, protector of the dolls. We literally just
Came
came
up
up
with
with
that
that.
name.
Yeah, but it really is true, and I mean, you're gonna find out why.
I love that. Having to protect the dolls, I love that. That is something that's definitely gonna be like attached to you because we don't have someone that is like a protector of the dolls. And a little bit what you had told me when we spoke off camera earlier, I really like that. So having protect the doll as your new title,
Mhm.
that's gonna be like an amazing attachment to your
Bitch. I know. Oh, can we cuss on here?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
girl, it's unfiltered. I cuss all the fucking time.
Yes,
This is an
bitch.
unfiltered.
I'm off it.
Unfiltered, this is a safe place. Today we're at Serenity Suites, one of my favorite places to come. I love, so if anybody have you ever tried Serenity Suites on Bandera Road in Leon Valley, definitely come and support them. They have amazing coffees. Today we're having was it frozen? Was it frozen?
Frost lavender
Frosted
latte.
frost
Frosted lavender latte.
Frost Lavender Latte is what we're having today. So
Hmm.
definitely come check out Serenity Suites. They have an amazing team. I love them. And yeah, so let's get this started. So I guess my first question is, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Mark Anthony?
Oh, that's a good question to start off with. Who is Mark Anthony? Well, Mark Anthony started off as just a closeted little Latin boy, growing up in San Antonio. Very Catholic. My family, for the most part, was religious growing up. I know that played a big part in me being who I am. To this day, I'm practicing Catholic, but I don't attend masses the way I probably should, or the way that they tell us we should. But I definitely make it a point to try to visit um, my home church, my home Catholic church that my family has always gone to. And I try to go once a month. So yeah, that and what else? I'm very involved with my family. Have been. There was a point in time where I pulled away from them, and I think it really took me into a dark place. But I think I needed to go to that dark place in order to figure out the rest of who I really was. So
How
yeah.
was that? How was that? Like, I know, like, growing up in Catholic homes and being a gay Latino,
Mhm.
how was that for you? Like, your child, like, when did you started experiencing, or when did you realize that you liked the opposite sex?
When did I like boys?
Boys.
Well, it honestly it started really young. And not to just straight up say that I liked boys at a young age or like knew that I liked boys at a young age. I just knew that I was different from other kids around my age as far as, what they were favoring as far as the opposite gender or the same gender. So I think from a really young age, I knew something was different about me. I just couldn't pinpoint what it was. And then once I actually got to the age of where I figured it might be that, um, I ran in the opposite direction and I hid it.
You
Eh,
had it.
Yeah, I try
Yeah,
to hide it as much as I could. I try to dim my light.
that's how I was, like, when I, like, first came out.
Hmm.
And I didn't know what it was, but I knew, like, I didn't want to be a boy.
Hmm.
Like, I just knew that I was, like, different. I didn't understand it,
Hmm.
but I knew I didn't like boy shit. Like, that was my thing. Like,
Right.
mine wasn't about sexuality. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I like that boy. No,
Hmm.
mine was just, I just didn't want to be a boy. Like, I didn't want to
Yeah.
do no boy things.
Yeah.
I was wanting to play with, like, dolls or girls or fucking Power
Right.
Rangers.
Right.
And that, for me, that was something that was like, I know it's different because I would look at my brother, I looked at my boy cousins, and it's
You
like,
compare yourself,
yeah, and
yeah.
I'm like, I'm nothing like them. Like, I don't
Hmm.
like doing the things that they do. So it's like,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. And I was afraid like to tell like my mom and like my
Hmm.
dad. But they knew that I was like very like feminine. I had like long hair. I
Hmm.
dressed very feminine, like short jean shorts.
See, and I think that's the difference between, where people get the whole trans versus just being gay, and sexuality versus who you are as a person. That's where they get it confused. So, whereas, you had long hair and that's something you liked playing with dolls, you liked, shorter shorts. For me, it was kind of like those things didn't matter. Like, I liked playing with boy toys, but I also liked girl toys. And it was kind of like, and then you don't know it's wrong until somebody points it out and they're like,
Yeah.
that's a girl toy. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I would hear like
mm,
my uncles and aunts like, oh, you're not supposed to be playing with that. That's for girls only.
yeah, it's
And
like, why? But see, that's where it gets confusing, I think. But from a young age, you don't know. You're just playing, like everything's fun to you, everything's new, everything's being experienced at once. And it's kind of like, you don't find out what those boundaries or what those hidden lines are until somebody starts pointing them out to you.
yeah.
And I think that's also what played a part into me knowing from a young age that certain things were different about me than they were about someone else.
Yeah, I think in our like journeys that we go through, like everyone's journey is so differently as a childhood.
Hmm.
And I think like the biggest thing that people get so confused or want to pinpoint, and one of the biggest things out there that I hear this many freaking fucking times
Hmm.
is that people think that we all get like, I'm not gonna say that word, but SA
Yeah.
as kids and be like, oh, that's why you're like that. That's why you turned
Yeah.
down, which is not the case for a lot of people. And like,
Right.
even though like, and I spoken this on one of my episodes,
Hmm.
even though that happened to me by a family member,
Hmm.
I was already feeling the way I did before that incident happened.
Right.
And people think that because of that
Mhm.
experience, I came off the way I am. I was like, no, 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 no. Let's look at that.
Right.
Let's make that clear. Like
Right.
that was not the reason why I am who I am now. It has nothing to play with. And a lot of people get that really like confused with that.
Right. And I think it's really just the fear, and they want to, the people that aren't part of our community, I think they have a really hard time understanding us. And they need to, what's the word? Put like a label on it. It needs to make sense in their mind,
Yeah.
when in reality, if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense in our own minds. I don't know about you, but me, I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know why I'm this way,
Exactly. And
you know?
yeah, and it's crazy. Like I have thought of things like that. It's like, why is it that we're like this? Like, what's the main reason? And
Yeah.
people think it's a choice. It's not a choice. This is just how we were, like, programmed from. Like,
Yeah.
this is how we were born,
Not even
literally.
program. Like
Like,
there really isn't, like, if you think about it, programming is something that, gets created and then put a certain way. Us, we just fucking came into existence this way. Like,
we just got fabulous.
bro, I don't know how else to put it.
Like, I think I just, it's funny. It's funny in some of these people, and sometimes they just, and if, and especially when, and it's scary. I know there's a lot of people in our community that
Hmm.
who have gone through that experience of being sexually assaulted as kids
Hmm.
and are afraid to talk about that in their coming out stories, because the moment they
Hmm.
do,
It changes.
people who don't
Yeah.
understand, they'll be like, that's the reason why you're like that. And it
Yeah.
sucks because I know I've met a lot of people that are afraid to talk about that
Right.
because that's the first thing people are going
It's
to be labeled
stigma.
at. Yeah, the stigma that they're going to be like, that's the reason why you're like that. And it's
Yeah.
sad. And especially growing up in like in Catholic homes or religious home
Hmm.
in general, the moment that you come out as gay or lesbian or whatever,
Right.
and you talk about that to your like family, that's automatically that's the reason why. And it's sad and
Yeah.
it sucks because that's not the reason why.
It's not the reason why. And unfortunately, there's certain things that, like I said, they get labeled, but they need like a reason behind it. So they immediately take like a dark situation and they'll tie it to that. And oh, this is why, because in their mind, it might be that being gay is a dark situation, which I understand their point of view, but it's not always that. And it's
So,
unfortunate that some people unfortunately have to undergo that. And I think those are the ones that really get very confused because, those are the ones that might have been programmed into, thinking they like, something when they really don't. Or they
exactly.
really do, but they're just so afraid because of what happened to them that it traumatized them.
Oh, yeah. And so I guess going to my next like question, like once like you came out and stuff, what is the challenges that you saw for you
Mhm.
being like the hardest after like coming out?
The hardest for me was, um, oh, the hardest for me was I didn't want anyone else to know my, you know, quote unquote big secret until my parents knew. Because, my parents were the biggest pillars in my life. I mean, they still are to this day. And it was kind of like, okay, if I can't rely on them, then my whole world's gonna fall. So if I lose my parents because of, who I am, it was like a thought of devastation to me. Um, Thankfully, they took it better than I expected. So yeah, it was surprising, but at the same time it wasn't because it was kind of like everything just kind of fell into place and it felt like as if a giant giant weight got lifted off my shoulders once I told
I
them.
think that's like the best feeling. Like
Oh yeah.
it's the best feeling when you know like the people that matter to you the most, like the only opinion that matters to you
Right.
is your parents. That's how
Yeah.
I was. To me, the most important. I didn't give a fuck what anybody else thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Same.
my was, is my mom and dad can be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came out and that was lifted,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's all I care. Everybody else, fuck you. Like I don't
Yeah.
care. Like that's how I felt. Like I
Yeah.
don't care.
And it was also so like reassuring that when I told my parents, they also, even though, they might have had their own beliefs about, or their own thoughts about me being gay or me coming out, they were more worried about my own safety because they had so much stigma put into their minds, not just by their parents, but like by society in general. So they only knew like the stigmatized version of being gay, and unfortunately, them growing up in the 80s, I think also,
At a time when HIV was like first
yeah.
being known.
Exactly. So, I mean, you get that. And, growing up in a time where that's all anybody was talking about or was worried about, or that was the big, disease, that was what was killing people, specifically gay people. That was their biggest,
It was,
scare,
and
that they were
even
going to
in
lose their son.
yeah, and that has always been a big play, and even in today's society,
Hmm.
that stigma still exists is
Absolutely.
within our community, especially within a lot of it within our Latino, and we're just like in communities in
In
general.
general,
In
yeah.
general, that stigma's still there. Even though there's so much education around HIV and
Hmm.
prevention, and in even mainstream media that don't like to really talk about it as much,
Right.
or if you do talk about it, you're silenced on it.
Your
Like you're
silence.
silenced on it.
or
I've been
or they even try to like fluff it, like they try to put all these like flowers on it and stuff. And I mean, it's not a scary thing, but when you're not educated or you're not very like versed on what HIV actually is or how to avoid it, that's the biggest thing. They can tell you all these different things about how to avoid it, and we know what they are because they're just the typical, don't be silly, wrap your willy type shit.
yeah.
When in reality, it's there's so much more that you can do. And that's one of the main reasons I wanted to come and talk about my story with you specifically, is because there's a world out there where people don't know what they're getting themselves into. And by people, I mean young gay individuals that are putting themselves out there at risk. And, they're just doing what makes them feel good or comfort, and
Within the moment.
unfortunately, yeah, in the moment, and then they don't realize that it can lead to a whole world of dark, very dark things. But it doesn't have to be that way if we talk about it.
And I think it's important. And I love when I started my advocacy work a few years ago, six years ago, actually. This year marked my 6th year as an HIV advocate. Thank you. As an advocate, you know, my story has been very different. It's something that many of us HIV advocates are either majority are people that are living with HIV, or some of them are not. And I am one of them who is not living with HIV. I started my advocacy work because of my brother, you know, whole story. To make story short, just him, after him taking his life, I started advocacy. Right. And it really meant something. Like the education part is where I really wanted to educate people, because the stigma that he was facing, I'm like, there's a lot more that goes behind it than just thinking, oh, he was a very like sexual active person, because that wasn't the case for him. And I wanted to shine a light into that, to bring awareness. Like there's education, there's help for families who have loved ones are HIV and don't know how to be supportive. I feel that one of the biggest things, you can be supported by just listening to them. Don't judge them. Like let them open up to you. And let them, because that's one of the biggest thing is that my little brother's biological family or parents shut him out the moment that he had like came out as being gay. And then when they found out about his status even more, they just didn't want nothing to do with him, his biological parents. And that really I feel like that took a really toll on him mentally, that he felt so alone. Even though he had me, had my parents, it felt like he felt so alone. And it was just really heartbreaking, because a lot of people, and as working in the HIV community, I have a lot of clients that they talk about how some of them don't have the support of their family. Like, or they go to the family, there's a cup and like you can only use these certain dishes. Like these belong to this person, like don't touch them. You know, and to hear that is very sad, because that's not how HIV is contracted. Like, and I think that's why it's important. And that's why when I stepped into this role of advocacy work for our community, I wanted to really end the stigma of HIV.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, and I'm gonna use the word disgusting, that people treat other people that way, when it doesn't have to be that way. And you know, and it really angers me sometimes too when I think about it, that you know, rather than acting that way your entire life, if you just picked up like the smallest little pamphlet.
I'll tell you off camera why.
Girl, I know why.
Were you there?
No, I don't care.
Okay, but yeah,
I'll tell you
why though. So I'll talk about that after camera. Any of our HIV community locals, go out there.
You know what? Not even that. We're you know, at that point we're already putting too much work on them. If you just pick up your fucking phone, Google, you know, anything related to HIV, you can fucking find something on there.
Yeah, there's so many articles out there, so many resources.
Watch a fucking TikTok video, something. Oh yeah. You know,
just don't watch the ones that they're saying that they're putting that you're getting HIV through toilet paper. I saw a video this week of somebody injecting a liquid into a toilet paper, and she was claiming that, oh, you see, this is how HIV is. No. That's kind of like, you do not, insane. Like the virus itself has to survive in a host. It cannot survive out in the air. And you cannot touch something and you catch HIV. So let's make that very clear, because people think that injecting a liquid that may possibly have HIV in there is going to be contracted. That's not the case. I know, I saw that this girl posted it. I'm like, that is,
you need to send that to me, because I like, any stupidity, just send it to me. I know, they're like,
I was like, no.
But like, it's like a Google search away. Like, come on.
The sad thing is, police officers believe it.
Oh yeah. Uneducated people believe that.
Girl, that's a whole podcast in itself.
I know. That's like, I can't wait to do my group one. Huh?
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna ask you about that. What's the tea on that?
Donate and did a fundraiser for $150,000. And the city's trying to say, hey, we're gonna use that money to redo all the sidewalks in the area. But put rainbows on it. Pride SA is saying you should have fought harder against the Texas government
Mhm.
If we gave you this money for a specific project, you don't have the right to use it somewhere else.
Right.
SA is saying Texas is threatening to cut funding for transportation, which affects via
Mhm.
people, all these people. So they're saying
For
Hey guys, so we just took a break and now we're back for our second part.
yeah, we needed a little
A
moment.
little moment.
Yeah, it was getting a little too stuffy in
It
there.
was getting hot. So we moved out to the outside, which is a really nice area and really cool.
They by the way, thank you, Rain, for bringing me out here today. I've been across to the Comfort Cafe, but we're here at Sweet Serenity, which it's a cute little cafe. And the coffee was really good. It's that's cute. It says Love Light and Lattes.
I know. I love that. Their logo is it's amazing.
Yeah, it's adorable. If y'all haven't come check it out.
Definitely not sponsored by Serenity Sweets. I'm gonna reach out to them. Just kidding.
At the moment, not sponsored, but working on it.
No, but I love that they able to provide like these safe spaces for us to come. Because I've had talked to them in the past, and they're like, yeah, whenever you want to come and do a podcast episode here, we'll be more than glad to have you here. So it's really, I love that they're open. I know they're open Thursday through the weekend, and they're open to like 3, I believe, 3 or 4. But it's a really cool sweet spot.
And one cool thing I do want to mention, cash only. So for those of y'all trying to evade taxes, no, I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. No, it's for a good cause. So it's all donation based. You literally pay what you can. So if you got $1, come over here, use that $1, get you a coffee.
Right. We can't promote just $1.
No, I mean, it's suggested $8, but if you got $1, just bring $1.
All right, then. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. And I know we left off with the whole toilet paper video that we saw, which we think is just crazy.
I haven't seen, to be honest with you, but just hearing that is insane to me because, I mean, so to also give a little bit more about myself, I am an individual that is living with HIV. I've been undetectable for, I want to say about 5 or 6 years already. And it's not bad. It really isn't. You know, I go to the doctor like anybody else. You know, I'm not fighting for my life. I'm not, worried about passing it on to anybody. I say anybody, but I'm in a relationship. But I haven't been worried about that because it really is just you take one pill a day and it's the gay birth control. It keeps me good. It keeps me good. But it's something that I recently am exploring with being more open about. Because like I said, with my story and my family, they are very accepting, but it got to the point where I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to hold this in and not talk about it because it's something that really doesn't affect your everyday life. It can if you don't go and seek the proper avenues of care, but if you're aware and you're educated and educated in the sense of you literally just read an article about it somewhere on Google, you'll find enough information that you'll learn it's not a big deal. It really isn't. It's a big deal to have it and not take care of yourself, but it's not a big deal when you have it and I live my life as if I don't.
Yeah, I think thank you for Mark for sharing that, for being open about that. I think that's one of the biggest questions out there that a lot of people still have today is, especially someone with HIV, like, can you live a normal life? Can you have babies still? Can you contract it to someone else? And being open about that, and being educated, I think it's the most important thing. I guess, and this is where I'm gonna test you on your knowledge on HIV. For new listeners who are listening or people who have those questions, and there, how there's people out there saying, oh, well, I don't trust the media. I don't trust the media on their information. So for someone who is living with HIV, let's hear from you. What are the ways that you can contract HIV?
So there's only a handful of ways actually that you can contract HIV. It's by blood, by breast milk, by anal secretions, which if you don't know what that is, look it up. I promise you,
Sorry,
it will change your life. Yeah, so basically, without getting into it and being as raunchy as possible, your butthole makes like these little juices, and if you get that little juices on
or
like
vagina.
yeah, or vaginal secretions, basically you get those fluids into a open wound or any type of like scrape on the body, anywhere where your inner is
Intercourse.
exposed. That's how you're going to contract it. So it's got to be blood to blood. Saliva does not. So yeah, ejaculation also is another one. So how do you say that? Semen, I guess.
Semen.
Yeah. Such an ugly word.
It is.
It is. It's so like ugh. Anyways, and I'm gay, right? Yeah, so those are the only ways that you can actually contract it. And even like that. So let's say you do go and you're hooking up or whatever, and then the person that you're hooking up with is clearly a liar. They say that they don't have a condom, and you're still there all prendida, and you still want to get your piece. If they end up actually leaving fluids inside of you, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to catch HIV if they have HIV. That's not going to happen. It can happen, so that's good to know also, but it's not 100% factual that it's going to happen right then and there because that. So don't freak out. And if it did, if that did happen and you were drunk or you had a good night out or whatever the case was, or you didn't have a good night out, you just need to come, talk to someone that's at a clinic or, seek medical advice. And they have, stuff that you can take, and it's kind of like a plan B. So just like there's, gay birth control, there's a plan B for the gays for the day after. You're like, damn, I had one too many vodka sodas at the strip, and Mr. So-and-so came knocking on my back door last night, left a unwarranted surprise. You go to the clinic the next day, or as soon as possible, because there is a time frame. I believe it's 72 hours. Right?
But yeah,
72 hours. You take a few pills. It's gonna basically boost your immunity to where you can just fight off whatever virus was left inside of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Or on you or near you.
Yeah, so we have those. We also have for somebody who is very promiscuous. I used to be on that side. I was very promiscuous. So
you promiscuous?
I know, right?
Girl.
I can never. So I was. I'm someone when I started working in the HIV community. I started to take Discovery. Wait, what is Discovery? Right?
Discovery,
right?
yeah.
Okay, I forgot. I guess because now I'm on the injectables, so I forgot the name of the pill. But there is a blue pill.
Girl, she's moving on up.
I moved on to the injectable. So I used to take a pill. I was on the pill for about like 5 years. And I was taking a pill every day. So that prevent me from contracting HIV. But now I went ahead and started it's been about a year that I've been on the injectable. So I take that shot every 2 months. I hate it. It leaves you a bump on your ass. Like, it hurts like a bitch going in.
No, so that's so crazy that you brought that up because, and those of y'all that don't know what she's talking about is PrEP, obviously. It's a preventative. Yeah, no, I got you, girl. So it's a preventative, which they have moved on to bigger and better things. So you can now inject instead of just swallowing a pill every day. But yeah,
the pill's good for people who like swallow. I don't like swallow.
You're like, just put it in me.
Just shove it in.
Just shove it in me. So, no, but yeah, there's definitely a shot. Unfortunately, there does have a little bit of a, like, does it leave like a soreness or? Like...
So you get like a little bump on your butt. Like and sometimes, so my dumbass made the mistake of like rubbing it. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to just let it like not rub, and then so it'll go away within like the 3 days. My dumbass, it lasted for like almost 2 weeks. I was so pissed. I was over here like when I was like hooking up with guys. I'm like, oh my god, don't see that part. I have a bad nature.
don't touch my bum. Don't rub my bum, please.
My even touch it.
Girl, imagine you're just like, let me lay on this side.
But you know what? It's very helpful, and especially
it's convenient.
It's very convenient because I hate taking pills. That's like the like even with my hormones, I take a fucking shot once a week. I hate doing pills. Pills are not my thing. I don't like swallowing, so I don't like swallowing the other things. I'm not gonna swallow a pill,
girl. And those pills are no joke. Some of them, they've gotten better. But I remember when I was on PrEP. That's another thing we can get into. I was on PrEP at one point before I actually became positive, and I got off of it. And unfortunately, this was about like maybe, I don't know, 13, no, not that long, like 10 years ago. And it was when PrEP was still very, very new. And I went in just for my normal routine to get checked, which all of y'all should be doing. Even if you think you're good or you're not good or whatever the case is, just fucking go get checked. It's easy. And if you don't know where to go, reach out to Rain. If you're listening to this right now, reach out to Rain, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to share any resources I have. But yeah, it's something that I think people should be on. You know, whether you are, you know,
promiscuous or not,
sexually active, promiscuous, whatever the word you want to use, whether you're doing it or not, it's good to have, because you never know when you're going to run into a situation, you know, God forbid, you know, it's an unwarranted situation where, you know, it might be leading on the SA side, but let's be realistic. Things happen.
Yeah.
And I think if at least you know, guys and girls, yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. For men and women.
Men, women, I don't care, trans, not trans, you know, blue, green, whatever. You have to protect yourself.
Exactly. And you know what? I see PrEP now as a vitamin. Just like there's vitamins we have to take like every day. I see it as a vitamin. Just the only good thing, I take it twice. I mean, every other 2 months. But I think it's something very important. And I think that's why, like, in our community, like, we're so educated about it. And I feel like the numbers have gone down a lot more within the LGBTQ community than it has with the heterosexual community. Their numbers are pretty high. And
that is factual. You can look that up. Like, we're not just pulling numbers out of our ass. I know when I was doing advocacy work with Rain, that's how we became close. I know the numbers, they were high for certain demographics, and, you know, Latin men, gay or straight, they're up there, especially here in San Antonio. That's the #1 demographic right now. And like I said, gay or straight. I'm just saying Latin men in general between the ages of 18 to 35. Y'all need to go get checked. You need to get on PrEP. You need to do something to educate yourself because it's become a problem.
Yeah, well, thank you for that education little segment. So I guess it goes into my next question. I know there's someone who's living with HIV, and I know the hardest thing is being growing up in Catholic and Latino family. Did you, when you came out to your family about it, how was that experience for you?
The experience, like I mentioned, was not was surprising. It was surprising, but it wasn't surprising. So, not to get into the full story, but just a quick little snippet. I was scared to tell my parents face to face, and I struggled with that. But the whole reason behind me wanting to come out was because I found a guy that I really liked. Not my current boyfriend that's literally sitting next to us.
I was looking at him like,
oh my God.
Cute.
Rain looked directly at Jimmy, was like, oh, and he's like, not me. So not Jimmy. So there was this other guy. We're not gonna say his name because he's trash.
Not important. We would not give him any spotlight. I'm so sorry.
What did he write? Homewrecker.
So guys, so right now during our recording, it's just not me and Mark, it's Jimmy and one of our friends, Chris. And they're on the sideline and they're adding
information, adding commentary. I'm like, y'all have to wait for y'all's own podcast, okay?
This is about Mark Anthony, not the J-Lo Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony with a K, get it right. Dude, oh my God, speaking of, I know we're gonna get off topic for a second, but dude, one of my straight friends, that's another thing. Have straight friends, even though you're gay, and have all types of friends. Don't just stick to one type of friend. You need to open up y'all's minds. Please.
Just like you open up your legs.
Girl, just like y'all be opening up your legs, opening up y'all's booty holes. Y'all need to open up y'all's minds because, yeah, it's good to have different types of friends. So my straight friend sends me this fucking video, and he's following these two gays, right, that are talking on like a podcast. And then they're like, oh, let's talk about Marks. And they're like, yeah, Mark is that one gay that nobody knows is gay until he starts talking. And like they're just reading me, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, do they know who I am? And it's so funny. I'll send it to you later.
It's so funny you say that. Okay, so when you started working there with me, when I first saw you, I was like, damn, he's cute. And then I heard your voice. I was like, oh, he's gay as fuck.
You said, oh, that's a queen.
I was like, he's a bottom.
How dare you?
A doll.
He's a doll. Baby, that's not a man. That's a doll. I'm fucking.
Oh my God. I didn't know you were Nylea's friend. And I was like, oh my God, he is gay. I was like, God damn it. Whenever we have straight men around here.
Girl, they don't exist where you work. They don't exist.
Oh my God.
That was shade. All tea, all shade. Pink lemonade. There's no straight men in that place.
Oh my God, that was like hilarious.
Anyways, we got off topic.
Oh my God, that was funny.
So yeah, I found this. I didn't find this guy. This guy found me. And unfortunately, it was through the apps. You know, I'm not going to say it because that app is trash now. Anyone who's still on it is probably still trash.
Grindr?
You said it, not me, girl. No, very just talking shit.
I deleted that a long time ago.
You know, it's not what it used to be, and
it's scary, especially with like things that have happened,
girl,
like
the serial killer that we had all up and down Texas.
Yeah, so Grindr is like one of the scariest things. Like I don't even like, you know, I erased that freaking app a long time ago.
So that's also part of my story. As a young gay, Grindr was just coming out, and it was groundbreaking, obviously, to the gays, and they were using it.
The Republicans, that they love that shit.
Oh,
it goes off they break that system every time they get together.
The main ones, yeah. They're on the grid. So I met this guy through the stupid app, and I was 20 at the time. I had already been messing around with guys through that app since I was probably about like, I don't know, 17-ish.
What's that?
Yeah, so, you know, she had been experienced already. And then I met this guy, but up until that point, I really did not see myself, like, being with a guy at all. And then I met this guy, and I really fell hard. And it was the first time I think I really saw myself, you know, being happy with someone other than a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would go on like these little secret dates, and I remember just being always so nervous and like, you know, skittish. That one DL guy just looking around like, you know, who's gonna see us, who's gonna run into us, who's gonna go back and tell my parents. And like, it was just something that I did not want to live my life that way. And it got to the point where it was too much. But I couldn't tell my parents face to face. So what I did was I actually, I was supposed to tell them when we went to this trip down to Corpus. We would always take like an annual trip to go like fishing down there. And my parents love night fishing. So we would go.
That's fun.
It's so much fun. So we would go like on the pier down there in Corpus, and we would just fish all night till like, you know, 3 a.m. It was so much fun, and just drinking and having a good time. So I went down there and I got really drunk. But before I went down there, I had told my brother, and my brother at the time, he was, I want to say like 12 or 13 years old. Like he was young. No, he was 13. He was 13 at the time, and he was super young. But he I mean, he convinced me to tell my parents, and I really wouldn't be here today without him because, I mean, he's been my rock for a majority of my life. And what I did was I tried to tell them in person, but I ended up getting really drunk off those like frozen margaritas at Walmart in the pack. You know, like you take out the pouches, you go, you throw it in the freezer, and then you crack it and like shake it.
Oh my God.
Yes, bitch, I got drunk off of those. And lime-maritas, the strawberry lime-maritas.
Those are so good.
Got filthy because I was like, I can't say it without, you know, like, getting blasted. So then we went fishing, and then we got hungry, so we went to Chili's. I ended up downing a fucking Patron margarita on top of all of that. So we went back to the hotel, and I remember I just passed out, and then I woke up and I was like, did I tell them? I was like, did it happen last night? Did I tell them? And my brother's like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't say shit. You just got drunk and passed out. So I was like, fuck. So on the ride home, you know, it's a 2-hour drive from Corpus back to San Antonio. And I remember I had my laptop with me. Real gay, just my fucking white MacBook.
MySpace.
Girl, my white MacBook, and like with the little red shell on it. Very like Y2K. And I started typing out a letter to my parents individually. One for my mom, one for my dad. And then I don't remember. I might have typed one out for my brother too, but I can't remember. It was such a long time ago. And I wish I had those fucking letters. They're somewhere. I still have the laptop. They're somewhere in there. I'll try to get them if I can. But I typed out the letters and I gave it to them, basically explaining that I was bi, which was the fucking not the biggest lie, because at the time I had been dating girls too, so it wasn't a lie. But I knew I wasn't gonna end up anywhere with a girl at that time. And dude, you know what's crazy? My mom read right through that shit. She read the letter because I told we got back from Corpus, got home, and my best friend at the time was like, "Hey, we're gonna go get Friday the 13th tattoos," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want a tattoo." So I was like, you know what? I told my brother, here's these letters, give them to mom and dad. When I leave, I'm going to go get a tattoo and I'll be back later. And hopefully I can, you know, get my shit or, you know, have a home when I come back. So he ended up giving them to my parents. He gave my mom her letter first. She read it and she was like, I fucking knew it.
I knew it. Moms always know.
They do. And I remember the first time my mom ever asked me to, if I was like, you know, interested in girls. I was young. I was probably like 10 or 11. And I remember in my head, like thinking to myself, do I? But then I was like, I knew I had to give her the answer of like, yes, mom, like whatever, you know, like leave me alone. But then it really got me to thinking, do I actually like girls? Because I was pretty, you know, flamboyant, I guess, for my age.
I'm like, and this is the part where we insert a photo of you.
Right, very
back
gay.
in the day.
Very, very gay. And no, I remember not knowing. Like I really don't think I could have answered that question sincerely at that age because I didn't know. I knew that I liked being around guys. I thought, you know, I probably found them attractive in the sense that a 10-year-old finds another 10-year-old guy or girl attractive, like you little crush, you like hanging out with them type thing. But other than that, no, I just, you know, rolled it off my shoulders. But then my mom was like, okay, where's the other letter? And my brother's like, you mean the one for dad? She was like, yeah, give it to me. So she opened it, read it, and then she was like, okay. She was like, let's go find out what he's gonna say. So then they went and both gave it to my dad, and my dad opened it, read it, and then literally looked at my mom, and my brother was like, so what does this mean?
He's like, I had a clue.
No, literally. And they're like, well, he's gay. Like, what the fuck? Like, what else do you want to hear? Like,
what is it like that movie where they're, there's, I think it's like one of the scary movies where they're like this.
Yes, very that.
Oh yeah, the donut.
With the donut and the weenie. Yes, it was very like, that was my mom explaining to my dad, like, what the fuck I was into, I guess, or whatever.
That's hilarious.
But in this case, it would have been 2 weenies. Like,
well, I guess like now, so now that, you know, like you're coming out and everything, what you've been through.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like one of the important things, because I know like you coming out publicly talking about like your status,
Right.
it's kind of like coming out again when you talk about your status to your, like, your
Absolutely.
family. Did you get to open up that part of your life with your, like, family?
Yes, and for a long time I hid it. So like I said, I'm about I want to say 6 years, might be, yeah, I think it's like 6 years. That's how so irrelevant it really is to my life. Because I feel as if I don't have it. I live my life normally.
Good.
And um, I know that some people are probably going to be listening to this and they're like, what? But others that know and, have, done their research are going to be like, good for him. And, it's just a normal thing. It needs to be normalized. People need to talk more about it, which is another reason why I was so glad that you asked me to be on your podcast, because I'm ready to talk. You know me.
I like that. And glad for you coming on and, like, we talking about that. And I think that's one, like, I know one of the things a lot of people in our community, since we've all worked in, like, the HIV community,
Hmm.
we have, like, which is a lot of our clients don't have that support. Who were your, like, support friends when you came out? Like, who was there for you?
Oh, love how you transitioned that. And speaking of transition, so a funny story. I have a very unique story, and I know we talked about this off camera, because it was something I definitely wanted to bring up. I have a very unique story when it comes to my friends, my gay, like, quote unquote gay friends. When I came out, obviously I came out at the age of like 20, and it was Friday the 13th. That's my date. And I didn't have any like gay people in my life in general. Like, no queer people were in my life other than like a relative of a relative that I would see here and there at, like, family functions, but nothing to where I could talk to somebody and be open with them, or, even just be exposed to that type of life in general. Um, so when I came out, I started coming out and hanging out. Like, I started talking to this bartender actually, and he introduced me to one of my best friends to this day. She's like a sister to me. I love her to death. Nylea, if you're listening to this, you. But she kind of taught me, how to be okay with myself. And at the time, when I met her, she had not transitioned yet. I don't even think it really was a thought in her mind at that point in time. But I mean, I'll let her come on the show and explain her own story, um, which I think she needs to because it's very unique. But at the time, I had like probably about 3 or 4 like gay friends, that I made through her and, hanging around them. And I actually introduced her to one of her best friends today, who also transitioned, was a really good friend of mine, to this day as well. Aaliyah, shout out to her too. And then we just kind of evolved that way together, and we grew up. But they showed me how to really be comfortable as a gay man in my own skin. And then they kind of just threw a wrench in everything and was like, I'm gonna transition. So they
Rent.
yeah, I say a wrench, but it's, they're being their authentic selves, and I love them to death. But I think it was a very unique relationship. Not a lot of gay men get to have a relationship like that, especially with trans women. And I think everybody needs to make a trans friend, whether, they present themselves as male or female, because trans people are presented as male and female. There's not just females, there's not just males. Um, and I think if you just take the time to listen to any trans individual's story, it's going to be a unique one, and it's going to be a beautiful one. Um, and that's how I became who I am today, was because of them. And they taught me how to be a gay man, and I helped them, perfect their images as women also. Like, it's a give and take relationship, but I experienced a lot, and that's why to this date I'm so comfortable around, trans women, trans men, talking to them. They're just like any other person. People try to put them in this category of like, you know,
The biggest thing is mental health. They say that we have mental health issues, and it's
they try to demonize y'all.
Yeah, and the sad part that it comes in from our own community as well. Gay men, especially within our own community.
Yeah,
they love
it comes within our own community.
Yeah, it comes with our own community. And my biggest thing that is very upsetting is that us trans people, we're always there to stand with our gay brothers, and majority of them, when it doesn't suit them, it doesn't fit their vision or whatever the case may be, they go against us. They leave the T out all the time, out of the LGBT. Like, they feel like trans people are not part of the community. They have mental health issues, but yet when their rights are being attacked and their whatever's going on with government, they want us to stand by them. But when it comes to us, they don't stand with us. A majority of them don't stand with us. And the ones who do, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. As a trans woman, I appreciate my gay brothers that are out there that stand with us and really like show us that support.
And it's not just the gay brothers, it's the gay sisters, it's all the letters in who we are as a community, because without the rest of the letters, we're not a community. We're just individualized. And I think the biggest weapon that the people who stand against us try to use is divide us. And they're successful at it sometimes, and it's sad. Because they use other things to divide us, like race or, social class, or, how much money do you have,
and it's like that. Even in our own community here in San Antonio, we have the gay community, we have the white gays, and they're very fucking Republican. They're very Trump supporters, and they bend over for him in a heartbeat. And it's so crazy that...
But those are also the same ones that are bending over for BBC on the east side.
You're right. You are right.
Getting pounded down.
Yep, they do. They're against the rest of everybody, but yet they sure love our Black and Latino men.
Absolutely.
And it's just crazy, like, going back to where, like, talking about, like, the mental health with how they label us trans people. A lot of our people that are trans that have mental health issues, it does come a lot from the abuse of within our own society,
right?
Of being
because we allow it
out, being left out, and saying you don't belong in our spaces. You don't, because they label as mental health. So yeah, so if a trans person is gonna have mental health issue, it's from the abuse of our own fucking community that they create on us, right. and it's exhausting. Like, we have to deal with the shit that we deal from people who are not from our community,
right?
Having to do from like work,
it's a constant battle.
Yeah, it's a constant battle when you're getting attacked from all fucking different sides.
Yeah.
So it is. Some of us are gonna have mental health issues, and because the shit that society creates on us, the barriers that are created on us. This is like, so next week on the panel that I'm about to be on, let's talk about the truth about trans. And
by the way, I'm gonna be there.
Oh,
because
I'm so excited.
One of my girls, Miss Cassandra, she's gonna be there. One of the dolls.
I love her. I haven't got to meet her. I got to meet Jamie, but I've met Cassandra briefly, but I haven't really got to. I'm excited to share the stage with her.
Oh, she's awesome.
So I'm excited for that. So
love her to death.
I'm gonna reach out to them because I really want them to come out to have their own individual episode with me. I want to do a sit down because I think that'd be so amazing.
No, I agree. And they have their identity as the real estate dolls. Obviously, me being in real estate, we definitely cross paths, but I've known Cassandra, I think, I've known of her, and we've been in the same circles for a few years now, and a lot of mutual friends, but we never had the opportunity to really like sit down and talk until I think it was my friend Kayla's birthday last year, which we just celebrated her birthday. And the women that I'm talking about right now, all trans women, and it's I surround myself with anyone and everyone who's gonna fucking give me a second to talk.
I love that.
I don't discriminate against anything for any reason, unless you really just are, someone that's
straight up evil.
Straight up evil. Like even like that, I'm still like gonna talk to you and try to figure out what the
root cause of it.
Yeah, what's going through your mind? What made you this way? Like I'm that type of person.
And it's crazy. That's how I am. Even with people that have done damage, like Chris has been around individual who really just came after me for the longest time for no reason. That's because I looked up, I somewhat looked up to this person because at the organization I used to work at, I'm like, oh my God, there's another trans woman working here. You know, I'm in the field, like the first time working with a whole LGBT community and knowing there's another trans person there, a woman, I was like, oh my God. And this person just really just painted me to be a bad person. And it's like, every time I was trying to accomplish, especially when I started the my organization, Unfiltered Wings, it would just constantly, oh, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to do this. And then the March came out. It was a whole fucking circus. Like, so it just sucks because sometimes we work with people that we look up to, especially when they're older than us, like our elders.
Yeah.
She might be like, bitch, you call me an elder.
Well, baby, if she's an elder, she's an elder, girl. But y'all make some noise for the elder gays. The elder trans women and gays of the community. No, they really built a good foundation, and they had to be tough. I get it. I really do. I try to see everybody's perspective, and they had to be tough when, you know,
when shit was really bad for them, but years
shit
ago.
was really bad, yeah. And, you know, not to say that it isn't bad today, because it is. It's just a different type of battle. A different type of battle. And, you know, they're tough. They're hard. And, you know, I don't just have friends of a certain age. I have friends of all walks of life, all age groups, all races. Like it's something that I pride myself on as an individual because of the diversity that I create, not only for myself, but for them as well, because they might not have had a friend that's, you know, unique like me. And because I am pretty unique.
You are. You know, I love your personality when I got to meet you. And like when you left from the organization we were working at together, I was really sad about it. I really was. I was like,
you mean when I was forced out? When I was walked out?
I was really, I did not know. I was really upset. And I'm like, you were such, you know, you had such a lovely personality. Every time I would hear you walk through the hall, like I would hear your voice. I'm like, I was excited like to see you because, you know, when you work with amazing people that make they make a really great impact in your life and especially in your work environment because you create family.
Yeah, it makes things very tolerable, you know, like, because I mean nobody likes to work. Work is work.
But I love helping our people. So it's like a different thing.
Yes.
To me, work like is doing a job you completely don't fucking like. That's work.
Yeah.
But when you come to somewhere you love to be at, that's not work. That's just it's helping. I don't know. I guess a different word for it.
No, you're absolutely right. And I can tell you, Rain, like that day that happened, I cried. I went home and I cried.
Oh.
And like Jimmy
there.
Huh?
I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
I was in Dallas.
Yeah, and then that was like another thing. Sorry, Jimmy was like, he wasn't even in San Antonio at the time. He had gone to Dallas, and that's how out of the fucking blue it happened. Like, I came in, and then, you know, I even had a presentation. I'm not gonna get into it because it really doesn't matter. It probably have to edit.
Yeah, why? Like, but your big presence not being there really it was really upsetting for me.
It was hard. Anyway,
I guess that'll be for a really unfiltered moment.
Yeah. No, to give you something that you could probably use, an unfiltered moment. Getting walked out that day, I was so sad. I told Jimmy so many times, like I would come home and I felt so good about being there, and I thought that was gonna be my I thought that was gonna be my career till I retired because I felt very strongly about it. And the work we were doing, the advocacy,
it was meaningful.
The job that I got hired to do was perfect for me as like my demographic, like what I wanted to do, how I wanted to present myself, everything, my story, it all uniquely lined up with that job. And unfortunately, it got taken away from me. It got ripped away from me, and it was sad and it was devastating. And it really not only took a toll on me mentally, it really took a toll on me altogether. Like at the time, I know a lot of people didn't know this, but I was going through a lot with my family. I was going through a lot financially. Like it was unwarranted the way it happened, and it broke me. It broke me because I had been through so much, and I had done so much to get away from the feeling that this person just put me back through with basically saying, you know, I hired you, but you're just not it. That's how I felt. And it was,
and I'm sorry that happened to you. And
it's okay. Don't, you know, there's nothing to be sorry about because it happened and it made me a better person and I learned and I'm growing from it, you know, and
like now you get to get in real estate. So look at that. You went
the
from
next
a
day,
moment.
I got my check. The next day I cashed that bitch out and I went and I used my entire last check to pay for my real estate.
Well, I'm happy. Congratulations, because you're doing amazing now. When I saw that when you posted on social media that you went like going into real estate, I was like, good. Like you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. And this is, I'm still excited for you that you get to go through this chapter and grow from it. So I think that's pretty freaking amazing.
And just to give everyone like a timeline, this all went down like this summer.
The summer, yeah, yours was summer last year.
It was summertime and it happened in fucking Pride Month. It literally happened in Pride Month. How fucking what's the word I'm looking for?
Weird icon moment.
How fucking homophobic was it that I got fired in Pride Month?
Okay.
Well, we're not gonna get into that.
But this was amazing talking to you. You're always a freaking ball of joy and you're fun to be around with. We definitely gotta hang out more. I know like last year I took a really big break from advocacy work and being not part so much in our community because of the tragedy of losing my parents last year.
Yeah, and which by the way, I hope you're doing this is like heart to heart. I really hope you're doing okay. And you know, after that happened, it happened during the time that I was there and it was just like, I really applaud you for, you know, going through your day-to-day life. You know, I know it's hard.
I've gone like now, last year was really hard for me. It was a big change for me. It was something that you go from talking to your parents every day to like, no text, no call from them. It was really hard on me. You know, I went through some challenges at work as well. Really, it was challenges that almost broke me. I would message Chris and tell him what I was going through, like how complicated, like a lot of things. And it wasn't the work. It wasn't the work in the community. No. It was people that I was under.
It was never the work.
It's never the work. I love my community. After my parents' death, I took like 3 weeks off, jumped right back in, and still continue to be there for my community. It's just that when you're under certain people, they make it so.
Showed up to your march. I want people to know that you showed up to your march the weekend of, right?
2 days right after my parents passed away.
Yeah.
So 2 days before my 2 days before the march, my parents passed away. My parents passed away March 27th, and the march was the 29th. I still showed up for the march, and it took a lot, but I was there. I said because I knew something as my parents would want me to continue what I created for our community.
Absolutely.
And still be strong, and I did. Everybody was surprised that I still showed up, and I did it because it's like it's something that I created to be a voice for our people and stand that no matter what lives you're. So, at that moment, I had to be strong for everyone else that was out there, especially like for our youth, the LGBT people. Yeah, because they look at us as their role models. It's like if they can be strong enough through whatever lifestyle that I'm like, so can we. So that's what I did it. I did it was to still be that beacon of hope for our youth.
Absolutely. And I think you did that very well because I honestly was surprised, not surprised, but I was taken aback by you still showing up and, you know, but then in my mind, I was also like, why wouldn't she? This is who she is. And I know you had the support of your family behind you, your parents, and, you know, it had meaning behind it. And I think you showing up still was beautiful. So thank you for that. And
it's been amazing. But like now mentally, I'm in a good spot. Last year was like I said, I was in a really dark spot. And I know a few weeks ago, right before the year ended, I told myself, you know what? I know that what I need to do next year, I need to continue to fight for our community, still be out there. And when Sophia from Equality Texas reached out to me a couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago, she's like, "Hey, are you ready?" I was like, "Honestly, I am fucking ready."
Sophia.
I love her too. She's actually gonna come on pretty soon, but hopefully after like all this is done.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, I told her we need to have a session. She's up for it. Yeah,
she's a sweetheart.
She is. She's amazing. She's an amazing advocate that doesn't get recognized enough in our community.
Absolutely. I think she is one of the ones that goes unnoticed. And like I said before, I think we said it off camera, but the silent assassin of the trans community. Because I mean, the march that you created, seeing it for the first time in person, and then experiencing it with you know, going through tragedy, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment for me as an individual who's constantly around trans people and trying to advocate for them. And if you follow my social media, I don't just post real estate stuff. I try to do lifestyle as well, which I'm going to get more active with, I promise. But my brand, Mark Anthony Living, it's something I really want to push to be an advocate, not only for trans women, trans men, but also for the rest of our community, you know, the LGBTQIA plus, all of that shit.
The whole ABC.
All of it. All of
whatever
it.
coming you.
You know? And anyone who's just going through a time where you feel as if it's not going to end or you're not going to make it, please just feel as if you can reach out to me. Or I know Rain is a beautiful light that, you know, will always be open to talking to anyone that's just going through a hard time. But yeah, that's literally the whole reason why I wanted to do this. And with you specifically, because this is the first time I've ever done a podcast, and there's going to be more to come.
Of course, we're definitely going to get, like I said, like this year, I'm gonna really stick a lot to my podcasts and really just focus on that. I want to bring all walks of life, different people from different backgrounds. You don't have to be LGBT to come on my podcast. You do not need to be part of the LGBT community. My platforms are open to everyone, different, no matter where you're from, what color you are, who you love, whatever the case may be. Everyone's welcome on my podcast. And I think that's what that goes back to my vision of Unfiltered Wings. When me and Mario created Unfiltered Wings 6 years ago, we made
Mario's your brother, right?
So Mario was really good. He was a co-founder of Unfiltered Wings. He was someone that meant the world to me. But unfortunately, during the second annual of the march, a month right before on Valentine's Day, he passed away in a car crash. So he was the co-founder of Unfiltered Wings, and we create the march together. Like Unfiltered Wings existed. If it wasn't for him pushing me through the time my brother took his life, Unfiltered Wings wouldn't have been here. I feel like without his help, I wouldn't have created where I'm at today with my majority of my advocacy with Unfiltered Wings. And you know, when we were creating Unfiltered Wings, we made a promise to each other. We said Mario was a straight man. We're both from different walks of life, and different things that we've gone through is that we're gonna make Unfiltered Wings for everyone. This is not just going to be an LGBT organization or a trans organization. We're going to stand for everybody because that's just who we are. We love everyone for who they are, no matter where you're from or what your views are. I have friends who are Republicans, and that doesn't mean that they're bad people. They don't agree with half of the shit that Trump does. So, you know, they just have
different views.
Yeah, they have different views, but they respect us as individuals, and they do when the time is right. Not time is right. When they know they stand with us, they do take that oath and they stand with us. So that's when Unfiltered Wings is. We created to represent everybody in the communities, in all types of communities.
And so, at the end of the day, it's just humanity. Like, you know, it's humanity. You just be a fucking normal human being and just, you know, treat other people the way you want to be treated. It's not that hard.
Of course.
It really isn't. I do it every day, or I try to strive to do it every day. I know I'm not perfect, just like anybody else, but it costs nothing to be kind.
It does.
And if you can show a little kindness at least once throughout the day, don't just check it off as if, you know, like, oh,
I did a good deed of the day.
I did my good deed of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be kind. The way you want to be treated, treat others with that respect and dignity.
Yeah, dignity, humanity, just fucking be a normal human. And I know people get so caught up in their everyday lives, and I know life sucks and all of that other shit that they say, but just try to be nice. That's
course.
that's all I ask for from anyone I talk to. Respect me and I'll respect you.
Exactly. There's nothing go. So I guess before we sign off, where can our listeners follow you on?
So you can follow me on
So excited.
at Mark Anthony Living, and that's Mark with a K. That is my brand, my lifestyle brand. I am going to grow it. Like I said, there is going to be some very exciting things coming in 2026. Not just real estate, but follow me there. I'm on all platforms. My main ones are going to be Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok is going to be Mark Anthony.
We'll put him on the thing.
Yes, because I can't think off the
Description.
top of my head. I think it's Mark Anthony Texas Living, but I'll send you the links and we'll list it below. But again, Rain, thank you so much for having me on today. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that we made time for this. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever done something like this, and we've talked about it, and I'm glad we made it happen.
I'm so grateful and honored that you get to be part of this. And I think one more question I forgot to ask you that I think it would be really good.
Sure.
I like asking this question to a lot of my people. What is one advice that you would give to somebody who are going through the same thing as you're going through, especially to our youth? What is one advice you would give to someone?
So that's a really good question, especially towards our youth. To all my little gay, queer, Latin individuals, trans, whatever you want to be called, whatever you want to be as a person, figure it out. Really go through, really sit down, take a moment of silence wherever you're at, and really ask yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to be? And how am I going to do it? And then just fucking do it. Because there's going to be tons of people out there that are going to tell you it's hard, it's not worth it, you're not worth it. But I promise if it's something you truly find in your heart that you need to do or say or act on, just do it. That's all I can tell you. And take care of yourselves. Just take care of yourselves. Protect yourself. If you can't protect yourself, find someone.
Call the doll protector.
Call the doll protector. Newfound title over here. No, but seriously, you need to find your group. And it's good to talk. It's good to talk to people. It's good to be alone too, but it's not good to be alone when you don't need to be. So
Thank you.
Yeah, for the youth, find someone, talk to them, and make sure that they have your best interests in mind.
Well, thank you for that, Mark. Thank you again for joining me on Unfiltered Beauty today. So it was an honor and a pleasure, and always you're fun. So thank you so much. Thank you for our side commenters, Chris and Jimmy.
Chris and Jimmy, thank you so much for being here
being
today.
here. And people like you, people in our community is the reason why this is like my healing journey for me, is going to hear other people's stories, giving them a platform to talk their truth, to be unfiltered, unapologetic. This is my way of healing. When I create Unfiltered Beauty, this is my way of healing. So having guests come on the podcast and sharing their stories, and see that we have a lot of similarities, different journeys, but so many similar life situations that we go through.
Yeah.
So thank you, because you're not just healing me, yourself, you're healing our listeners, our followers, people out there that are really going through it. So thank you so much for being a voice for our community. And you're the first person I'm gonna call when I get ready to buy a house.
Okay.
You'll be the first one.
No, I hope so.
So I think
I'm gonna be like, hey, remember that podcast? Y'all heard it here.
But thank you again, love. So my listeners, thank you so much. You can reach me at She Is Rain on Instagram, Facebook. Of course, it's Rain Garcia. And of course, my podcast is on Apple, Spotify, and also on YouTube. So again, thank you so much. And like I always like to finish off this segment, unleash your inner beauty.